Hello, ladies and gentlemen. One second, I wasn't even prepared here. I do apologize. Let me plug in this mic real quick. This microphone should still work. I need to get a shotgun mic. Somebody told me. One second here. Okay, I hope that it's working the way it's supposed to. I have been MIA since that game that we called a playoff game over 2 weeks ago. Going on 3 weeks ago, actually. It's what, Thursday night, Central Time, 8:39 Central Time, my time. Welcome back to the Charles in Charge Cowboys Sports Report. I have returned after a 19-day absence of just getting the sickening feeling out of my stomach of what I witnessed 19 days ago, Sunday at 3:30 Central Time, my time, all the way through about 7 p.m. Now, channel still growing, 388 subscribers. So I'm going live. When you go live on a small show, it's either hit or miss. Sometimes you have a good show, you get decent people, decent amount of people come in, or sometimes it's crickets and you're talking to yourself. But this show, one way or another, will grow up and hit the pinnacles that I'm telling y'all it'll hit. And it'll become a show that y'all will look forward to watching, just like y'all do Law Nation, Mark Holmes, Mike Fisher. Every show brings a different type of, thing, and my show has its own thing. First game I witnessed was Super Bowl 28 against Buffalo at the Georgia Dome. I was 6. Ever since then, I've bled blue. Played the game my entire youth, been a student of the game my entire life. And what I witnessed against Green Bay. Now, given that Green Bay went to San Fran, took the lead, the Niners had to make a comeback to win the game 24-21, made Green Bay look pretty good, that they gave San Fran that much trouble. But no, still, being down 32 in the fourth quarter at home, where you've won 16 straight. I know Green Bay has, had a good back half of the season, beat Detroit down Thanksgiving. Uh, but there's no excuse for what happened. So now Jerry Jones, I know he's 81, and I know hiring a new hiring a new head coach, is a lot because it's all, you know, a lot of change basically, unless you Mike McCarthy and you come in and you keep Kellen Moore, and you just bring in your own DC. But a lot of new assistant coaches and all that stuff. But you know what, Jerry? So what? Time to back up, man, because we're gonna run it back. He's made it official. He made it official like a couple of days after the loss that Mike is going to be the head coach this season for the 2024 season. Mike signed a 5-year contract. I thought he signed a 4-year contract. I thought this was Mike's contract year. So I was thinking, I was like, all right, good. They would have to renegotiate a new deal in order to have Fat Mike on the sideline again for this season. But he has one more year left on his deal, and Jerry is choosing to go with him. Jim Harbaugh just signed with the San Diego Chargers. Brandon Staley has had that team for 3-4 years. Ton of talent. Really good quarterback. Made the playoffs once and had a huge meltdown. Comeback, lost against Jacksonville in the 22 season. Belichick is still out there. There is something about Mike McCarthy that when the lights are the brightest, he doesn't show up. He doesn't call plays like he does during the regular season. Dan Quinn, during that game, There's no way you could tell me that his head was 100% into the game. That's why these head coaching interviews during the owners' meeting in the offseason, the rule needs to be changed that head coaching interviews or even requests head coaching interviews need to be after the season is done or after a team is eliminated from contention or from the postseason. Not, when Dan Quinn is trying to prepare a game plan against Green Bay's offense. He's got, 6 requests for 6 head coaching interviews. That don't work. You know, we have 14 guys that are going to be UDFAs. I mean, no, UFAs, unrestricted free agents. And there are a few guys I believe we should retain for sure. And the rest, let them kick rocks. No problem. Mike will be our head coach. We know this. Dan Quinn has a second or third interview with Seattle and one other team. Good chance he's a head coach, probably at Seattle. I would not doubt it. Or does he want to try to finish what he started with his defense? Because you're only as good as your last game, and Dan Quinn's last game was worse than Mike Nolan's worst game in 2020. Almost, you could say. I mean, it was god awful. Tyron Smith. Now, a lot of mock drafts have us taking that left tackle out of Arizona. That's not bad. I like that. In the draft that will be coming up in spring, we have skill position guys on offense and defense. We got receivers and we got corners, especially if we re-sign Gilmore at least to a 1-year deal. We got receivers, we got corners. This defense, this draft should be all about the trenches. And drafting a left tackle out of Arizona, I I'm on board with that. But I'm also on board with bringing Tyron on for one more season. If we're gonna run it back, like Jerry wants to do, Tyron's coming off one of his best seasons of his career, and he's had some damn good ones. Tyron Smith's coming off one of the best seasons of it. He was second team All Pro. And those Tyron Wednesdays seem to work pretty well in keeping him upright. Now draft this left tackle, in the first round, or draft a interior offensive lineman that could play center in the first round, and let Asim Richards have another year to develop under Tyron Smith. Asim Richards could be a gem. He was a redshirt this season. He didn't get much playing time, but who knows? This kid could be something. You never really know until you put the guy out there to play how good the guy's going to be. Deron Bland wasn't getting any playing time in 2022 until Jordan Lewis went down and the fifth round pick rookie was thrown into the fire. And in practice, he must have not been showing that much because he wasn't starting. Or he could have, hold on. Or he could have been showing a little bit, but not good enough to start. But then when they threw him in 2022, when J. Lou went down, he showed what he could do when it was game time, not practice. Not practice. We talking about practice. No, game time. So I seen Richards, push comes to shove, and he had to step up at left tackle. Who's to say that he couldn't do it in his second year? Especially, under the tutelage of future Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer Tyron Smith. I would bring Tyron back for one more season. Definitely, at minimum. He's 33, and if you treat him the way you did this season, then I think he can have 2 or 3 more good years left. By the way, if you're watching this live show, nobody showed up yet. Usually around the 10-15 minute mark, some people would jump in. It's a weeknight on the East Coast right now. It's going on 10 p.m. A lot of people are, talking about, the final 4 teams left. Instead of shutting this down and doing a live show, I'm just gonna stick with it and keep this live show going and just do it like that. Um, yeah, Tyron, I'd bring back at least for one more season. Keep Asim Richards at left tackle to maybe develop him into our future left tackle. And if we want, trenches in the first round, go for a very good center. Somebody who's better than Biadasz. Somebody that we know is better than Tyler Biadasz. Let Biadasz walk. Get our center. And then still got Zach Martin. Still got and Terrence Steele will be on his second year coming off that injury, so he should be a lot better in 24 than he was last year. Tyron keeps upright. Just get Asim Richards and just get a decent swing tackle. Lyle Collins, I don't know his status or what he's going to be if he's going to be with this next season, but it'd be a good idea to keep him on, and it would be at low cost. Keep Lyle Collins on for this season at swing tackle. So if Ty Smith misses his 4 or 5 games, then Lyle can fill in at left tackle because he said he could play left tackle, no problem. There you go, boom. And then when Tyron's healthy and he can play, let the man play. I mean, he was lights out this year. He is head of that list. Tony Pollard. I'd bring back Pollard at very, very low cost. He made his money. He made his 10.9 million, whatever it was, franchise tag. I would not tag him again. His market value is 6.6 million. I'd bring him back for 3. If he's willing to come back for 1 year, 3 million, I'd do that. Gilmore. I would definitely bring back Gilmore one more season. Being that Trayvon Diggs is, be coming back off that ruptured Achilles, ACL tear, whichever one it was. They're both the same to me. It's good that it happened. I mean, it's not good that it happened, but if it's going to happen, you want it to happen early in the season. So by the time, next season rolls around, it'll almost be a full calendar year. Hopefully, he's 100% ready to go. Deron Bland's going into his junior year, his third year. Gilmore will be 34, but he showed this season how good he can still play. The man can still play pretty damn good football. And he was counted on to be the number 1 cornerback when Diggs went down. And he did a pretty good job given the circumstances. I mean, like against Seattle and Bland's getting torched by DK. Al Harris told 21 to go lock down 14, and 14 didn't have a catch the rest of the game. So he could do that. So with Trayvon, Gilmore, and Bland, I like that. And Jordan Lewis, I'd bring him back for a 1-year cheap deal. I mean, I don't think he would demand a lot on the market. I bring Jordan Lewis back for one more season also because he is a good depth corner. Thank the Lord we had him this season because if we didn't, we'd have been in big trouble. And Sean Wright would have been out there, and I mean, we'd have had to have signed Marcus Peters, towards the end of the season or something like that. But we didn't trade for Jalen Johnson, so that's what we get. Dorrance Armstrong, he could stay or go. Jaron Curse, he can walk. Dante Fowler, if Fowler is willing to sign a 1 year low, deal like he did this last season, like 1 year, $1.5 million, something like that. If Dante Fowler's willing to sign another 1 year cheap deal, hell yeah, bring him back. I mean, he's good for one or two big plays a game. Now, with Igby, vet minimum for special team, only for special teams, maybe if that. Jonathan Hankins, yes, that is 100% yes. He said he has unfinished business here in Cowboy Nation. He wants to come back. He knows you're as good as your last game. And Aaron Jones cut us up. I mean, they did whatever they want to at will. I would sign Hankins like a 2 or 3 year deal. Not just a one, but a 2 year deal. And work Mozzie's ass this offseason, get him to about 330, 340, so he can spell Hankins, and the man ain't gotta, take the whole nose tackle role on by himself. The long snapper, Trent Sieg, he was the best long snapper in the league this season. Nobody really talked about that, but yeah, re-sign him, bring him back. Neville Gallimore, if he wants big money, you let him walk. If he's willing to sign a 1 year cheap deal, keep him. Rico Dowdle, same thing, money. If 1 year, 1 million with incentives, bring him back. If not, he can walk. And then Tyler Biotish, I wouldn't mind bringing him back, but not for no, top dollar. His 4 seasons, he was an average center. His third year, he was an alternate. He made the Pro Bowls as an alternate, but his contract year last season that just ended, he wasn't that impressive. So out of those 14, the ones I would definitely keep: Tyron Smith, Stephon Gilmore, Jordan Lewis, Dante Fowler, and Jonathan Hankins. Oh yeah, and Chuma Doga is also a UFA. Chuma, if we have Lyle Collins and he's going to sign for a 1 year vet minimum, then let Chuma walk. Keep Lyle. Lyle's better than Adoga. Just is. And now Dan Quinn. If Dan Quinn is not a defensive coordinator anymore and he takes a head coaching job at Seattle, or say there's one other team, Tennessee, right? Tennessee offered him a second, third interview. Um, Seattle and one other team. If Dan Quinn departs, then I would definitely promote Al Harris to defensive coordinator. I think Al Harris has been working his way up to this moment, this position. I think he's earned it. He has taken these defensive backs of his, these corners, and brought the best out of them. I mean, Trayvon Diggs, took him second round pick, made him pretty damn good. Deron Bland, helped the kid make history. And then if we bring back Gilmore, you know what I mean? Gilmore is on his level, up here, you know what I mean? He kind of quarterback the cornerback room. Al Harris, I think, could be a sleeper at defensive coordinator. It could be a real good one, like D'Amico Ryan's ex-player, a real good ex-player. Turned out to be a real good defensive coordinator now as a head coach. I think Al Harris could be D'Amico Ryan's ish. My opinion. That's all this show is. I mean, this show is not, Fish at Six, where we're journalists and we go to the Star twice a day. Now, this is Cowboys fan talk, our experience of watching this team for how many years. You've watched it, I've watched it. We've played the game. I played the game my entire youth, you know what I mean? But, Al Harris, I would promote him to defensive coordinator. Mike McCarthy's going to stay. I'm assuming he's going to keep calling the plays. That's that. Prescott, he'll get his contract extension. Everybody that's talking about trading Prescott, first of all, it's completely stupid because there's a no trade clause in his contract. You can't release somebody who's going to make about 60 million against your cap. You can't trade somebody. There's no trade clause in his contract. So Dak Prescott right now is in the running for MVP, actually, to win that award. I don't think he will. Jackson should run away with it. But extend Dak Prescott. I mean, he's coming off probably the best season of his career. 36 tubs, you know. He had 37 in 2021. He had 36 this season. He seems to be getting better every year. If our defense would have really stood up, our offense sputtered to begin the game, yes. But if our defense would have stood up, on that opening drive, held Green Bay to three, instead of having two penalties that extended the drive into the end zone, held Green Bay to three, that could have probably changed the whole completion of the game. But they let Green Bay drive the ball down 75 yards into the end zone. You know, the defense was playing off the offense for the majority of the season. Offense get the lead, jump out quick, and the defense would play their ball game. Defense was called out first, and they got beat up, and our offense, you know, needed a few drives to warm up, get back into sync, and our defense could do their job, which is get a stop. And so, what happened. Extend that till 2028. I mean, who else you gonna get that's gonna be better than Dak Prescott? I mean, he's not Troy Aikman, but he is a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. So you extend him to 2028. You free up a buttload of money. You sign CD Lamb. You sign Micah Parsons. You're probably gonna want their money this offseason. Get it out of the way now because if not, I didn't want to pay him. Like I said, this offseason I want him to earn it. Get some hardware. But the longer you wait, the more expensive they're gonna be. So extend Dak's contract as soon as they can in March, and you know, give Parsons his money, give Lamb his money. Uh, who else? Who else is coming up? Diggs already been paid. Uh, Tyler's got one more year before he gets paid, and then free agency. There's a ton of rumors about us trading for Derrick Henry, signing for Derrick Henry. I don't know if he's under contract still or whatnot. But Derrick Henry would not be a bad move. That'd be probably a pretty good move for a hammer back, as long as he doesn't, demand 12 million a year. If you would sign off for 6 million a year, 7 million a year, yeah, bring on Derrick Henry. And if Tony Pollard, who made his 10.9, would sign for 3 million. If you had a Derrick Henry and Tony Pollard 1-2 combo punch, that'd be beautiful. And then a Malik Davis or a rookie, as running back number 3, that'd be beautiful right there. If we're gonna run it back, we extend that, we free up a lot of cap money, and we go for the gusto, and we bring in at least 2 more big names, just like we did this offseason. We keep Brandon Cooks. For sure, keep Brandon Cooks. If we release him or let him go, I will not understand that. Keep Brandon Cooks, re-sign Gilmore, the 2 guys we got last offseason. And then this offseason, bring in 2 more guys via trade or free agency, doesn't matter. 2 guys of the same caliber. 2, one on offense, one on defense. That can make a big difference. A defensive tackle, if there's a good defensive tackle that can stop the run that's out there in free agency, you go get them. And you re-sign Hankins at the same time to solidify that run defense. We have not had a good run defense in as long as I can remember. We've had a good pass rush. We've always had a good pass rush, going back to DeMarcus Ware, going back to Charles Haley, but a good run stopping defense. With Trayvon Diggs coming back, and if we retain Gilmore, Bland will get better in his third year. I believe Bland will be as good as Trayvon Diggs was going to be this season in his fourth year. Those corners right there, those three corners, if our defensive line, just our defensive line, can stop the run and we can play cover one, our defense can really be something. And Al Harris would be locked in 100%, especially in a playoff game. He'd be locked in 100%, and his mind would not be wondering about what head coaching job that he might get in the near future or in the distant future. Al Harris is different than Dan Quinn, and players like him. He's a player's coach, and I think he's a dark horse at being a very good DC. So let Dan Quinn, we're thankful for what he's done to with our defense last three seasons. But you're as good as your last game. And his last game was more than pathetic. I mean, you had to zoom out on certain plays to see the nearest defender. That's how wide open those tight ends and receivers were getting. Romeo Dobbs was dicing us up. I mean, Jordan Love. I would rather them have Aaron Rodgers in that game. I mean, seriously. And then right before the game started, whenever the team huddles up and you get the one guy pumping the team up, Aaron Jones said, "Let's get in front of these front runners and hit them in the mouth," knowing that we were front runners, and if they got the lead first, hit us in the mouth, that would start to set in, and they could control the game. That's why they won the toss, and then they elected to receive. Was what it was. Apparently, I'm not supposed to be doing a show right now. Wife's been telling me to do shows. I'm doing a show, and she's all pissed off right now. But yeah, that's what I would do with our pending free agents at the moment. Those are the guys that I would resign. Again, I'll just go over one more time. Tyron Smith, for sure. Gilmore, for sure. Hankins, for sure. Those are the three I would bring back for sure. At the right price, I bring back Pollard. I bring back Jordan Lewis. Trent Sieg, yes, bring back because he was the best long snapper in the league. That goes unnoticed. You bring him back. And Biotish, Gallimore, Dowdle, those guys, that's all about price. Jaron Curse, I let him walk. I let him go. He regressed so bad this season. You could probably get somebody in the draft to replace him and play better. I'm gonna get back on doing my shows, like I was before this playoff debacle. This was the worst playoff loss I've seen. I guess that you could say the '98 season. The '98 season, if for the ones that weren't around at the time, the '98 season we went 10-6. We swept the division, first time in franchise history. That's when we had five teams. We had Philly, Washington, Giants, Cardinals, and us. Swept the division. And the game two against Arizona, we're up 28-0 at halftime. They fought back. We wound up beating them 35-28. They got the sixth seed in the playoffs by winning the last game of the season. They were coming to our house to play in the wild card round. We were heavily favored over said Cardinals with Jake Plummer and company, and they beat us 20-7 in our own house. Now the score is not near as bad as the Green Bay game, but the surprise, the disappointment and surprisement. I made that word up, surprisement of that playoff loss kind of mimics this one. You're playing the lowest seed. You won the division. You're playing at home. You got talent out the wazoo. That '98 Cowboys team was way more talented than that '98 Cardinals team was, as I believe our team was still way more talented than Green Bay's team was, even though Green Bay took San Francisco, to the edge. Eric Wallace, hey, my guy. Thanks for jumping in. Uh, my wife's kind of starting to trip now with the kids. I think I'm about to cut this, cut it out now, my man. But I'm just gonna go over what I said. Just a quick review. Mike McCarthy is our going to be our head coach again. He signed a 5-year deal. I thought he signed a 4-year deal. So Jerry wants to keep him for one more year. We saw the Chargers just hire Jim Harbaugh. Guess what he's going to do with that team? Make them freaking great, just like he did with the Niners and Michigan. Belichick's still out there. Could you imagine Belichick inheriting a team like this? He wouldn't even want control. He would already have the guys he's got and just trust Will McClay to draft well. So Mike is going to run it back as head coach. I think Dan Quinn probably gets a head coaching job at Seattle or the other team that's giving him a third interview. Al Harris should be our defensive coordinator. Dan Quinn leaves. And for our pending guys that are about to hit free agency, the ones I would hang on to, Tyron Smith, at least for one more season. I mean, he's coming off one of his best years of his career at his age. Gilmore re-signed him to a 1-year deal. Hankins, that is a must. He said he has unfinished business here, so bring him back. I would sign him to like a 2-year deal. Trent Sieg, the long snapper, was the best long snapper in the league. Him for sure. And then if the price is right, Jordan Lewis, cornerback depth. He brings good cornerback depth. Tony Pollard, if the price is right. Dorrance Armstrong, not too excited. If Dante Fowler would come back for another 1-year cheap deal, you bring Fowler back because he makes a good 1 or 2 big plays a game for what he's getting paid. Aduga can go if we're gonna keep Lyle Collins like it sounds like for the cheap, then Chuma can play for his 12th team or whatever. Gallimore can roll. Biotish, if Biotish is asking for the bag, he can roll too. He could be replaced in the draft easily. And like I say, keep Tyron Smith for another year, maybe 2. Hakeem Richards could possibly be the successor at left tackle. Now I know a lot of mock drafts have us taking that left tackle out of Arizona. You know that could be the next great left tackle for us, or Asim Richards could be. Like I said, he may not look like it in practice, but you don't know until the player hits the field. Deron Bland didn't look like a world beater in 2022, but when Lewis went down and Bland went into the fire, he showed what he had. You know what I mean? So a lot of these mock drafts have us taking this left tackle out of Arizona to replace Tyron Smith, and no one's talking about Akeem Richards, who we took in the 5th round out of North Carolina, who got to sit and be redshirted and learn under Tyron Smith his rookie season. If we bring Tyron back, who was second team All Pro this year, he was second team All Pro this year behind only Trent Williams. That's how good Ty Smith was this season. And if he sits another year behind Tyron Smith, that's 2 years sitting behind a future first ballot Hall of Famer. Can't get any better teaching than that. And if we have Lyle Collins on that line, then we have our swing tackle. So the 3 or 4 games that Tyron misses, we can plug in Lyle Collins. Or if Richards looks really good in training camp, plug his ass in to get him ready to succeed number 77. Um, and then, extend Dak. Dak's a very good quarterback. Franchise quarterback's not easy to find. Extend him till 2028. Free up a shitload of money. Extend Lamb, extend Parsons. Tyler Smith won't be ready till next season. And go out and get 2 more big free agent names. I'm just repeating what I said in the first part. Go out this offseason and get 2 big names, whether it be trade or free agency. Last season it was Cooks and Gilmore. Keep Cooks also. Do not release him by any means. The man is a baller. Keep Brandon Cooks. Re-sign Gilmore for at least one more year. And then this offseason, grab at least two more studs, one on each side of the ball. Whether it's trade or free agency, it don't matter. We'll have the money to do it and the draft capital. And it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all either if in the draft at pick 24 we pick who we pick, and then we trade back up into the first round at like pick 28, pick 29, and pick somebody else. In the draft, I want to draft trench. I want it to be a trench draft. Good linemen and good interior defensive linemen. Because we got skill players, young skill players on both sides of the ball. Maybe a running back in the third round, you know, but offensive line and interior defensive line. Actually, interior offensive line too. Just O line and interior D line. That should be the theme of this draft. I know we want to go BPA, but that's, our building block right there to, start to rebuild the O line and get this defensive line to be a run stopping defensive line. We got the pass rushers already. We just got to need the guys to be able to stop the run. And hopefully, Overshawn can come back 100%. Diggs can come back 100%. And if there's a good run stopping defensive tackle out there in free agency, go get him. Just like Joseph Sebastian Day. We didn't sign him. We let San Fran sign him. You know what I mean? Like what the hell? A good one tech nose tackle that becomes available late in the season. Why not sign him when your defense's Achilles heel is run game? That just blows my mind. But all hail Mike McCarthy. Man better deliver in 2024 because we have the talent. Make no mistake, we have the talent to make this shit happen. It's coaching that really needs to step it up. And I think Al Harris could be a D'Amico Ryans type defensive coordinator if Dan Quinn is to depart. And if Dan Quinn does, we thank him for his service. He did a good job for the 3 years that he was here. We let league in takeaways for 2 years in a row. He made Micah Parsons pretty damn good. I just still, I know Jerry's 81, but he needs to back up. Just back up. Let a real GM take over. Let Will McClay become GM, and let Mike walk and just bring in Belichick and let Belichick do what Belichick does. Imagine what Belichick could do with his defense. Belichick coached Lawrence Taylor with the Giants in the late 80s and 1990. The closest guy to LT right now is Micah Parsons. What do you think Bill Belichick could do with this defense of Micah Parsons? All Bill would have to do is just get a good OC for us. A good OC. Probably just keep Brian Shoddy. Because, he runs a West Coast offense too. Somebody is familiar with WCO because that's what we've been running. It's what the offense knows, what Dak knows now. And then he controls the defense. Bill controls the defense and the team, and Keith Bones as special teams coach. Bill Belichick could take this team to a championship game in his sleep with all the talent that's on this team. I mean, it would be like him coaching the 07 Patriots. Seriously. Just with his coaching experience and expertise. That's just, my thought about it. Going on 39 minutes. If you're watching this episode, guys, you have not subscribed, please hit that sub button. Please help me to get to 500 by the time the Super Bowl ends. 500 is my first goal, guys, and then 1,000 during the off season. And I'll be able to start putting back in this channel sound bites, studio equipment, a desktop to join onto this laptop to show film and graphics, and a call online for live shows that get live, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna be popping out some fire here in the near future, so I'll be watching out for me. Cowboy Sports Report by Charles in charge. Keep God first and foremost. He goes before everything, even this. Seek Him and His righteousness, and everything else will fall into place that you need in life. I am a living testimony of that. All right, guys, it's getting late. I got work tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. Please hit that sub button. It's free. Like, please share this content. I'll catch y'all guys on the flip side. Charles in Charge is out. This is just a, just kind of a talking out loud kind of video, just my thoughts of what we should do from here on out. But the season ain't, it's not even over yet. So can't wait till the Super Bowl's over and things start to happen. Then we can really, really start talking. All right, guys, you have a good Friday and a good weekend. I'll probably catch y'all this weekend. Hopefully, have a live show with a crowd. I appreciate you, Eric, for jumping in. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Charles in Charge is out.